Sometimes I have problem in recording, so I will try to share again the slide, and here it is, the slide. So as we have discussed last week about the structures and contents of the result, discussion and conclusions, and this week we will practice in developing of such a part in articles. And I have, shared the data with you. It's about the data of phase diversity and also the biochemical levels, biochemical profiles of the waters in three different lakes in with Sumatra. So there are Maninjau lakes, Inkarat lakes, and Danau di Atas, we call it. And so we just want to remind again about this one. I just try to recall it. So in constructing the result, so the first part of our talks is about constructing the result. So in constructing the result, we have to follow these structures. So the first is subheading, like this, the title of the results, and then follow it by the title of subsections, so like this, the title of subsections, and after that, the pre-description, so kind of introductory context, you will put a kind of, whole sentence or even a two or one sentence before as the preliminary introductions before you present the data. And after that, you will show the data as well, and the captions of the data, the number and the information about the data, and follow it by the data descriptions. And afterward, if you have like a statistical justification result, then you will show it in the very latest part of such a paragraph. So when we construct the result part, then we have to follow this, the formula, the contents, the structures of this one. First, starting with subheading, and then with the subsection, and then starting with, then follow it by the introductory context, and then you will show directly the data. And after the data, then you will describe the data, and then you will inform the result with statistical analysis. So please don't mix. For examples, probably some of you may firstly put the data. So directly after subheading and subsections, then you show the data. So you have to put the pre-description first before the data. And you also, some of you probably may start it with data descriptions before after the title of subsections. So that's the incorrect one. So you have to follow this step in putting the pieces of results. So, and also don't start your results with a statistical justification, because this is the very latest part that you should put at the end of your paragraph. And then in constructing the discussions also, you have to start not from the citations, not from your comparison with other study from other researchers, but you have to start your discussion paragraph by statement of major findings. So what is the major finding? What is the key findings of your research? So you have to start with such a sentence. So never put another part. And then you can follow it with explanations or interpretations of the meaning of such a findings. And also not only by the meaning, but also the interconnections. For example, in our data, we have the fish species number, and then the individual numbers that, catch it by every month. And then the biochemical parameters of the waters represented by the sulfate levels in the waters. So there are three different data, of course, right? And then so your explanations will describe, will interpret what's the meaning of species diversity, and then follow it by the individuals numbers, and then what is the meaning of the level of sulfate in water. And then you also have to explain about interconnections. what is the connection between the fish diversity and the individual's numbers? And what is the connection between the individual's numbers, fish diversity, and in sulfate levels in the water? So it should be interconnected each other in your explanations. And after that, of course, then you will reverse to that reference. What is the result from the previous study? What is the supportive explanations about this theory or about this concept? And that's the you put it in the third part. And then if it's something you for example, you find something that is discrepancy that is different with the common understanding of your data, so you have to propose the alternative explanations of your findings. And of course, in the very latest part, we have to put the limitations. What is the limitation of the study? You can consider and you can propose it. You can list it what is limitations, and after what you will make suggestion for the further research based on your current data. So in constructing the discussion, you should also follow this step, not directly. For example, you put these third levels like you make citations from other references, another study conducted by another researcher. So you have to put it after in the third place, not in the first. So please start your discussion sessions, discussion part with the statement of major findings of your study, and then you will explain it, and then you will add some citations or comparison with the similar studies. And when you will put the limitation explanations about the explain about limitations and recommendations, then it is the very largest part of your the discussions paragraphs. And related to conclusions, so only two part of the conclusion is that you will describe the key findings of your research, and then the second part is the relevance or implications. So I found in some articles of you just summary, you just put the key findings, but you did not follow it with description of relevance or implications of such study. So we will look at some samples of uh, uh, your article. So let me show you, for examples here that I took from Muhammad Kifari. So we will start from this one. So I will ask with you, Ryan. Are you Ryan Maulana? Are you there? Hello, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Ryan, related with the structures of the result. Okay, we noticed that this is okay. So the subsection, subsection, the title of subheading, and then this is the title of subsections. Then directly show the data. So what do you think about this? It is the correct one, or you have any suggestion for this a kind of structures? How to be better in representing that this result?
I think it's not it's incorrect, sir. Cause
Okay,
based
so what
on
should be after this one?
we should input the major findings, sir.
Oh, major finding. This is
Yeah.
in the result. So we are talking about the
Okay.
results, and then the amounts, and what is then after the subheadings and subsection title?
We must to input the explanation of the data, sir.
Okay, so the explanation data here. So actually, I will ask about, okay, Diane. Hi, Diane. Hello, Diane.
Hello, yes, sir.
Okay, so Diane, so according to Ryan, he said that actually after this part, then we couldn't put directly the data. Of course, that is correct, right? Because the step is different. So according to Ryan, but after this, not the data, but the explanations about the data. Do you think that's correct, or do you have any suggestion?
I think that's correct, sir.
Okay, so you consider about the descriptions of the data, right?
Yes.
Okay. So any other opinion from Richa? Richa, what do you think? Will you directly explain about the data after you show the subsections title or something you will put here? Richa?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what do you think, Richa? Because like Ryan and also previously Dion also considered that after you write this part, this subsection title, then this part should be the explanations about the data. Do you think that's correct, or do you have any other suggestion?
Uh, I think it's correct, sir.
Okay, so okay, I want to hear about another opinion. What do you think, Adam? Adam Raihan, what do you think? Will you directly put the explanations about the data after you write the subsection title here, or you will put another part?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Adam's home, his network is unstable, sir.
Okay. Okay. So Elni. So Elni, can you give your opinion about this? So some of your friends agree that after you show the subsections, of course, subheading, and this is the title of subsections, and then it will be directly started with data description. Or Ryan previously said this is major finding. So what do you think, Elni? Do you agree that you will directly put?
Hello.
Yeah. What do you think, Elni? So based on your friends like Ryan and also previously Richard and Diane also agree that actually after this part and then follow it by the data descriptions directly. Well, what do you think? Do you have another suggestions or another opinion that you will put something there before the data descriptions? What do you think, Elni? Can you give your opinion there?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Your voice is not clearly, sir.
Okay. I mean, can you see the screen? So here it is that so Rian and Diane and also Richa. This is their opinion that after this part they won't directly put the data like this, but they will start it with the data descriptions that will explain about the major findings, etc. about the data. So what do you think?
Yes, sir. I agree, sir.
Okay, so you also agree with this one, okay? Okay. Okay, I want to hear about another opinions. Whether Yuda, do you also think this is the correct one?
Okay,
I'm
sir.
sorry, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yuda, please.
Yes, sir. I think in my data, the feature of this data, I take a place for uh, we below the that below the description, apa below the data description, sir. So the figure
Okay.
in below of data, sir. And
Oh, so, okay. So
and
the similar opinion with the previous, right? So Ryan
uh,
and Rachel Elney also say that before the data, then you will put the description of the data.
yeah.
So do you have
Sir,
another opinion? Okay.
uh, and my title of result, not the amount of species, but my title is invasive fish species, sir.
Okay, that's okay. But I think we are not talking about the structures, not yet about.
Oh, the structure. Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, so previously, Fakhri, do you have, okay, Fakhri and Sifa or Fakhri now? Okay, Ahmad.
Correct,
Okay,
sir.
okay, we will hear
Ahmad,
about
sir. Ahmad
Ahmad,
Fakri.
Ahmad then and then Shifa. So please, Ahmad, do you have another opinion?
Okay, sir. In my opinion, sir, based on my text, sir,
Yeah,
before we show about the data, we should make the introduction word, sir, before
yeah.
we show our data, sir. So the reader know that data is have a connection with our hypothesis, sir. Into
Okay.
the
So
session.
that is the different opinion. And Shifa, do you have another?
Yes, sir. I think we should need to make some introduction in results, sir, before we make the table or the result. We should make introduction little, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So that is so before we. That's a very correct one based on the opinion or the suggestion from Ahmed Fakhri and also Shifa. Both of them suggest that actually before we start with the data descriptions like this, we have to put the introductory part or like introductory sentence. So let we see here, for examples, I put some wrong thing. Probably you can open another. Like previously, wait, I actually opened some data. Mhm. Okay, just wait. So actually, I also have a revised some part of this one. So we just put, we have to put our introductory sentence here. Oh, it is the same file. I'm sorry. So I need to open this one. Let me close this one first and then. Wait, I just want to, okay. So it is covered by, so here it is. If you want to uh, compose the correct structures of the result like this here. So, okay, correct one, we have the subheading and then we have the subsection. So can you see the slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before we depict this data, before we present this data, and before we explain or put the descriptions of the data, we should start with this introductions sentence or introductory context. We call it introductory context. So for this, for examples, after we put the amount of species as the subsection data title, then we can put the sentence. Field surveys that have been carried out reveal the species diversity, individual numbers scattered per month, and sulfate level in waters of Maninjau, Sinkara, and the other slag. So that's kind of the introductory sentence. And here also, in case of the Ryan also, we couldn't directly put the descriptions of the data, but we can start here. Based on, so this is my revisions on Ryan articles. The black one is the original sentence. So the original sentence is based on the data that has been received by scientific research. So that's incorrect one. So we can start it like this. Based on the result of surveys that have been conducted, it was found that blah, blah, blah. That's kind of introductory sentence. So you can put like part of this single sentence with your result, or you separate it, become the single sentence as the independent sentence, like previously as shown in this Muhammad Gifari introductions. It's an introductory context. So please don't forget, whenever you start your explanations about the result, starting with introductory sentence. So introductory could be like this. You reverse on the methods. So you just focus on like how you collect the data. So you start by field surveys. It's mean the way you collect the data. Or sometimes you may also start like starting from the what parameters that you will show. So for examples, based on the result of study, we focus on the species diversity, individual numbers, and biochemical parameters of the waters. So the result is follows. Such kind of this. And then after that, you will directly like put this one, data of the species diversity is shown on in figure 1. So then you will describe, you will show the data. So do not forget about the data. So like in the case of Ryan, there is no the data here. So when you explain about the result, then you have put the data there, like Muhammad Kifari. So after you put the introductory and then you will reverse the figures and then you will show the data like this. Directly the figures put here. And okay, so for the next is do not forget whenever you depict the data, remember how you have to construct the very good result that each piece of the data like tables or figures or the graphs like this or photographs, you have to put the data captions and the data number. So in case of Muhammad Gifari, it is correct that he put this figure 1. This is the kind of the numbers of the data, the identity of the data. And therefore, when for example, you put a figure 1 here, then the readers will directly, okay, this is the figure 1. So it will be directly, inform the readers. But do not just put kind of this figure 1, then there is no another explanation. So please just put the captions for the data. Like here, figure 1. So I just put my sentence here. Figure 1, number of species for both total and invasive species found in 3 different lakes of West Sumatra. So that's kind. Do not forget to put the captions. So that is. And let's take for the in the presenting of the results. So, I mean, this is in Nasha, right? So Nasha directly, actually, this is the Nasha. Shanasha did not, properly put the piece of the data in the result part. But she, just firstly started put the data in the very front line. So please, Dan, we can put like directly here in the result part, like this is Muhammad Kifari, but do not forget to put the figure captions here. And also let's take for the Mayasari. So for the Mayasari also, this is the correct one. This is the subsection, subheading, and this is the subsections title. And then okay, so do not directly mention some of the data analysis. So starting with the very generals, with the very simple sentence 1 as the introductory part, like I shown here. Field surveys that have been carried or reviewed, species diversity, or like I put in Ryan data, like based on the survey results of this, based on the result of the surveys that have been conducted. That's kind of introductions for the readers. So whenever you construct the result, do not forget to follow the rules like in this part. So put the subheading and then subsections and then pre-description or introductory sentence. And then you will put the data and of course with the data captions. In Indonesia we call it keterangan data. Jadi nomor data dan keterangan data, that is the data captions. And then you will describe about the data itself. And after what you will just deploy it. So let's back to the next. Okay, so that is, and then, okay, so we now understand about the structures, about the context of this one. after we describe put the introductions and then introductory, and then we show the data and follow it by the data captions, and then follow it by the explanations of the data. Okay, so this is the correct one. So you will describe the data in detail, but you don't have to put the meaning of the data because you just describe the data and the result, and the meaning of the data should be put in discussions. So, okay, let me put my critics on this part. This is the correct one, how you, like express about, describe about this data. But remember that when we describe about the fact, the findings, do not put a kind of vouch or non-specific sentence. So this one, quite is something something indefinitive in the results, so you have to remove this. You just put it whether this is highly or significant. It's kind of this word, so don't put the kind of this vote or in specific words. Quite is something like maybe. So based on research conducted, modern total species and passive species different each line. Quite different. So it is not the correct one. And also do not forget that whenever you reverse to the figure captions, like you will start it not by this abstract, but by the the bigger one. And what's else? When you talk about the result, then you will talk about something that has been found in the past from your research. And therefore, it is better to put your sentence in the past. It is in the context of the sentence. But I think it is just about how you construct the sentence itself. But in Bahasa, like in Indonesian articles, we don't have like a present, past, and future tense. But when you construct it in English, you have to be aware about like this, for example. Jadi kalau di artikel berbahasa Inggris kan itu sangat tegas perbedaannya antara kita ini mendeskripsikan hasil dalam bentuk past atau dalam bentuk present atau bahkan future. Tentunya bukan dalam bentuk present tapi dalam bentuk past, dalam bentuk lampau. So whenever, for example, total species discovered was, jadi harus dengan dalam bentuk past. But I don't want to put my deep critics on this sentence because it's kind of how you use the tenses. Jadi kalau membuat artikel bahasa Indonesia mungkin tidak akan bermasalah kalian, karena tidak ada indikator tentang keterangan waktu di kata kerja kalau di dalam bahasa Indonesia kan. Tetapi dalam bahasa Inggris kita harus memperhatikan kalau when we describe of the result, please use the past tense, like was or something like that, and never use the future or present tense. Okay, so for the next, like this also, and so I just focus on several talks of you. So after Gifari describe about the data, this is data descriptions, and then Gifari finish this paragraph with these differences caused by several reasons such as temperature, salinity, human activities. So actually, this is the part of discussion because you explained about the data itself, the interpretations of the data, and the interconnections with your assumptions, and therefore it should be not in here. So it should be the part of discussions. So consider to remove it and move it into the discussion part because all of this is the discussions. Then you can move to the next data like this. So again, with this data, do not forget about the figure captions. Put the figure captions here, and then do not also put the introduction sentence here because you will start with the next paragraphs. And then you will explain about the data itself. Like this data descriptions, but then again, please move this discussion part, your interpretation, your comparison with the previous research, like this from Umar and Kartami Harja. So this is a part of discussion. So you can move this part into the discussion sections. And the same thing with this one. You can put the introductory sentence here, and then figure captions, figure numbers and captions. And then you explain about the data, and referring with this one, you explain with the data. And okay, so this one is also part of discussions. But in case of Ahmed Gipari, because he combined of result in discussions and it's the same part, but at least also when if, for example, the journal asks you to combine it, but please just separate it. So you don't have to put the subtitle like this is will be the part of this of the result, or will be the part of discussion, but you can collect. So you can move this one like this one. So let me cut here, and we can put it at the end. This one and this one as well. So this one. So will be the part of the discussions, the paragraph of discussion. So even we don't have to put the title, so it is by itself will construct, because you will explain, will cite the data. So it's kind okay, I'll get my sentence. So this has become the new paragraphs like this. And so it is. So you will put every single discussions paragraphs into, I think this is better for the latest one, right? After describe. So this one. So here it is the part of discussion. So after you show the data, you introduce it and you show the data, and then you describe the data. And for the latest one, you will discuss about it. So here it is the discussion part. So in case you can also make it like this. Data, the explanations of the data, and then you will start with the data again, an explanation of the data, and after that in whole part, then we'll discuss it one by one like this in different part, distinct part. So that is, and in the case of Ryan Maulana, so you can also hear that okay, so Ryan also described the data here. So give the data descriptions, and then also, okay, this is also, Ryan also mixed about this one. This can be trade if the fishing activity is quite high in Lake Sinkara and Lake Meninjo. This is kind of the discussions. So fishing activity carried out by communities high lake in Meninjo. So you can also jump directly into the explanations about the chemical analysis of the water. Just a very short sentence. Okay, so then you will move all of your interpretations on the data into discussion sessions. So that's kind of how you will present it. And okay, so for the Mayasari, so sometime, yeah. So sometime, please remember when you prepare the manuscript, don't directly put it into 2 columns like this. Can you see this is the format of 2 columns, right? So this is the final format of the journals. So only the journal will make it like this. Say in you, when you prepare your articles, you don't have it to put, just put it in a single paragraph like this, just a single column like Muhammad Gifari, Brian, and also Nisha. And so you don't have to directly put like the journal structures. Di kadang-kala kan kita melihat di jurnal kan 2 kolom dia dengan struktur. So it's just this is the work of the journals regulators, the journal teams, not us as the author. So just make it in a single column, and then you will start with the part. Okay, something like that. Okay, so for the Nasha, the incorrect one is that actually you don't put the data. And okay, so please don't mix about the tables and the graphs and the pictures. So this is not the tables. This is the graphs, or you can say this is the figure. Figure, graphs, or pictures, that's one, the same thing, figure. Sometimes we call it figure. But with the table, that table is very different form, right? Table is composed of the word, sentence, and also the numbers, not like this. So you should put it, it's not a table, this is the figure. So figure one, figure two, so very different when you show the data in the figures. Okay, so I think that is, and then that is the structures of the results. So when you do not forget, when you prepare the result of your research or your articles, then don't forget to, you know, stick on the regulations or the structures of such a part. Subheading, subsection, and then follow it by introductory context, and then you will show the data and with data captions, and then you will explain about the data. And then if any kind of statistical justifications, then you will explain about it. In case of our data, we have the statistical justification here actually in this third data. Okay, this one, there is a statistical justifications, and therefore you have to put your statistical justifications here, like but here there is no statistical justifications. You don't have it, you just compare it. This is the higher, this is the lower. But if any statistical indications like this in your data, then you will you know, you have to also put it in the very largest part, like here, for example. So this is statistical analysis result show that, for example, the levels of sulfur in the waters significantly different, like so this is one between this dry seasons with the rainy seasons, significantly different between dry season and rainy season. So that's a kind of a statistical judgment. Example here. So this is the statement of statistical judgment. You have to put in a very you know, latest part of your result what you want to explain about it. So here it is when we back here, like a statistical justification. If you have a statistical analysis in your data, but if you don't have it, then okay, you can finish it directly by like this. So here it is. There is no further explanations about this until this one. Again, this can be happen because of several factors such as size of lake and visual explanations, exploitation. So this is interpretations of the data. So you have to put it in the next part. Okay, so I think that is that when we talk about the structures of the results. So please then you have to revise all of you please revise your drops about the structures itself and follow this structures, and you can also understand now from the lectures today that I put some critics here. Okay, and then okay, we will move to the discussions. So okay, let's focus on these discussions. So remember, what is the very first part of the discussions? In case of Ryan, for example, here, he directly put this one. Lake Maninjau has experienced super eutrophications due to its utilization for fish cultivations with floating net cage, which has exceeded its current capacity. So when we check for another, let's check, for example, like Muhammad Ghifari. Muhammad Ghifari directly makes it with the result. So we can check another. For example, Mayasari, Maya mix between the discussions. Nasha, okay, Nasha, okay. Okay, so can you see here, in case of Nasha, the Nasha directly start the discussions with this sentence. So this sentence, Khalid, is comparisons or citations of another research. So Nasha compared this finding and refers with the previous research conducted by Chandri and Hartoto and Ridwancha. So okay, this is one we have to start from this one, the major findings, not directly to the reference. So in case of Nasha, he started with the relationship of the finding to the similar studies. So this is the third part. So please start with descriptions of the major finding. What is the major findings in your study? So that is an incorrect one. So this would be the third part of your discussions. Third part. So, okay, let's check for the Ryan, for example. See, here I suggest the Ryan. Ryan also actually start with this, these interpretations of the data. And then, yeah, this is the, like, same with the Nasha previously. Started with the statement. Lake Maninjau experienced severe electrification. So this is kind of your comparisons, your explanation between the connection your data with the previous study. But remember, when we start the discussions, please start it with the descriptions of the major findings. So please start like this. Our present field surveys reveal differences in species diversity of fish and the degree of fishing as well as silver levels in waters in Maninjau Lake, Singkarat Lake, and the other lake of West Sumatra. So it's kind of you redescribe, you restate. Jadi Anda menyatakan kembali tentang apa sih temuan penting gitu ya. Poin-poin temuan. That is the very preliminary part of your discussions. And then you will explain about one by one about this data. And then you will compare it with this one. And do not forget about to put the limitations. Jadi jangan lupa di samping kita membandingkan dia dengan penelitian-penelitian sebelumnya dan menjelaskan temuan kita ini, maknanya dan sebagainya, jangan lupa di akhir meletakkan limitations. So do not forget to put a limitation. Let's check whether the Mayasari also put the limitations. The upper lake cover surface. So there is no, so it's just only the explanations about the data and the reference, of course. So there is no limitation. So do not forget to put the limitation. For example, what is the limitations on our data today? That probably just collect about the fish diversity, but there is no like what is the limitations in this data? That the biochemical analysis of the waters only based on the sulfate levels. What about like the concentration of oxygens and carbon dioxide? Probably in ecology you have learned about biological oxygen demand or BOD or COD, and also another the other materials like not only sulfate, like for example the minerals, other minerals. How about the clearance of the waters? How about the pH of the water? How about the temperatures of the water? So in this data, the limitation is that the biochemical parameters is only single one, only based on the sulfate. What about another data? So it's remain in the bio level, and therefore in the discussions you may put the present study only based on the sulfate labels and the waters. Meanwhile, the other biochemical parameters remain on measured or unknown, and therefore then you will put the suggestions like this. So you'll put the suggestions after you describe the limitations of your data. So I think that is about our my common critics on your drops. So do not forget, once again, when we describe over the data, put the subheading and the subsection, and then please put the introductory context of the data, every single data, and then you will describe the data, and you will show the data like this, data captions, and then data descriptions, and afterward you will follow it with statistical justifications, if any. If there is no statistical justification, then you will end up only in data descriptions. And for that, when you construct the discussions, you will start it with descriptions of major findings. What is your major findings in this research? Just state it in a very, very simple sentence. And then we'll follow it with the explanations about the interpretations of the data, the meaning of the data, and the reference, this relationship with the reference, and also about the limitations, and follow it by the suggestions. So do not forget about this kind of the constructive roles of the discussions. So next, let's see about the conclusion. So we'll move to the conclusion. Remember that the conclusions should contain about two parts. First is about the key findings, and then the next is about the relevance. The next is about relevance or implication. So let's take for like this example, for example. So here it is the conclusions of Gifari. He concluded that the highest amounts of total species and invasive species, okay, blah, 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 blah. This kind of the findings. Highest amount of individuals, the highest levels of weight. So this is only the findings. So, but remembers, beside you firstly describe about the major findings, and then you have to follow it with the implications or the relevance. Okay, let's take for another, like, okay, we can see, for example, the conclusions of Ryan. Also the same. The Ryan, it's in conclusion, Lake manages the high diversity. However, problems such as massive fishing, invasive species, and sulfate levels pose a threat to fish where they survive. And let's incur although not very diverse, blah, 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 blah. In the lake above, because there are no significant threat, it can be predicted that the fish species in the lake above will survive. So it's just a re-explanation of the data. So you just make a simple finding, distribution of finding, and do not forget to put this is what is the implication. What is the relevance or relevance? Okay, I will show you like previously, probably here, I put here. So I just try to, revise the Ryan paragraphs. So like this, the original statement is like this. In conclusion, like Maninjo, blah, 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 and then follow it, then there is no descriptions about implications and relevance. Okay, so when I try to summary to put the reconstruct the conclusion, so the conclusion should be simpler. So like this, in conclusion, our study found that Lake Maninja has the highest fish species diversity as compared with Sinkar and the others lake. That is the key finding. However, problems such as higher invasive species, more massive fishing, and higher sulfate levels in the waters could be detrimental factors threatening the survivals of indigenous species. And so what is it? Regular monitoring and preventive action against overfishing and invasive species introductions are urgently needed to overcome such traits. So this is a kind of relevance, or so this is relevance, or so just put this one. This is the implication or relevance. You found this fact, you found this finding, but then how this finding could be meaningful for others, and therefore you have to state it in conclusion like this. So one the alternative you just say, okay, because of this, then therefore we have to conduct conduct the regular monitoring and preventive actions against overfishing and invasive species introductions to overcome such a trait. So it's kind of a conclusion. Or probably you may also like put only the simple sentences. So there are many alternatives to put that relevance. For example, here it just puts these results means, or therefore, for example, the very simple is therefore the local government should take an actions to control the fishing activity in the regions in those three labs. So that's kind of it. What is your suggestion? What is your the outcomes based on your study? What should be done after that, after this finding? Okay, so do not forget about it. So I think that's all from me that we have discussed about the results, about the discussions, and also about the conclusions and how we construct it. So it's not easy when we practice from the theory directly into your work. So, but I think you also have understand impartially about how to put, how to describe the data, how to construct the conclusion itself, and what is the relevance. So do not forget every time when you construct your articles, construct as well as like a next probably you will also make or prepare your report, your project report, or also for your thesis, your research report. And do not forget every time you explain about the results, start it with introductory sentence, and then you will show the data, and then you will put a figure captions or data captions, and then you will explain about the data, and then follow it by statistical judgment if any, and then any kind of discussion, the interpretation, the meaning of data, you will put it only in the discussion part. So we'll discuss everything in the discussions. And do not forget also when you discuss about something, then you will discuss about, firstly, the first part of the discussion should be not directly cited the previous study, but should be started with the statement of the major findings of your study. And then you can discuss the meaning, and then you will make interconnection between your data with other reference. And then do not forget also explain about the limitations in the last part. So like this, so you will shortly explain about the limitations. And also the last one for the conclusions, do not forget, do not only put about the major finding of your results, but also please put a kind of relevance, or we can say this is the implication of this finding. Sometimes data is like meaningless without we put our implications or our interpretations. What we could do with such a kind of this finding. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Since that we have now understand how to construct the data, and I mean how to describe the data in the result, and how to also discuss it and discussion part, and how to construct the conclusions and follow it by particular part of the conclusion. You describe the very short major findings, and then you put the relevance or the explanations about the implications of your data. And therefore, I think based on our lecture today, it is your the next talk is please revise your drafts that you have submitted, and then I will provide the links for you. I will provide the links for you. Then you will submit your revisions on your current talks. Jadi jangan lupa dari kuliah kita hari ini kita sudah kita sudah belajar tentang bagaimana sih konstruksi sebenarnya dari sebuah bagian hasil, bagian diskusi dan bagian kesimpulan. Dan since there are many flaws, ada banyak kesalahan dari draft kalian, maka silakan perbaiki. So you have to revise it based on our lectures today, and then please resubmit it again. Jadi submit lagi, and I will use it as a 50% of your final exams. Jadi saya akan menggunakan hasil revisi kalian ini sebagai 50% dari nilai UTS dengan saya, because on your midterm semester exams, then I just probably just provide you with 2 or 1 questions, and but that's not the major questions. So only take apart 50% from that final from that examinations, and then I will take 50% from these talks. Jadi nilai UTS dengan saya nanti adalah 50% saya adopsi dari nilai revisi kalian artikel ini, dan kemudian 50%-nya adalah soal yang akan saya sampaikan ketika UTS. Karena ketika UTS nanti paling saya akan menyampaikan 1 atau 2 soal paling banyak gitu ya. So that's all I think. Thank you very much for you. So we just I just want to share you the link of our okay, so here it is, the link of our meeting today. And for that link for the submissions of your talks, your revisions, I will provide later the new one, because the link that I sent you yesterday, I mean last later, is the general links that everybody from any classes, like from B, A, and from C class also submit the same talks with the same link, and therefore it will be mixed with another talks, and therefore I will provide the new link, and you can submit the revisions of your link. But do not forget, whenever you submit it, do not forget to put your class identity, like you are a KBI, so I can directly classify your files into different class. So like KBI class, A class, B class, and C class. Because some of you, also I found some of you submit with only the names. So it's quite difficult for me to differentiate whether are you from KBA class or from another class. It's quite difficult. So do not forget about it. Okay, so in the setting, you can see the links. I share the list of attendance today. Please fill it. I share it in the chatting. Can you see it in the chat?
Yes, sir. I see
Okay,
it.
so I have shared the link for your attendance today. So please fill this form, and then I will I will be notified by the list that you attend this lecture today. Okay, today I think that's all for our lectures, and since this is the final, the very latest part of our meeting from this semester, and next week there will be no lectures, and because next week we will take the final exams, right? But I don't know when is the schedule for the scientific articles lectures. Probably it will be like the second week of final of the mid semester exams. Probably 16th, I think, I don't know. So please prepare as well, and please revise of your talks and resubmit it, and then please prepare for your exams, also from Professor Dahilmi, and also from my questions, because we will have it, and I will also make evaluation for you based on your talks and also from the examinations. Before we close our meeting, do you have any discussions or something you want to share with us? Something you want to say? There are 33 of us, I think just only 31, 32, only 32 students. Okay, wait, I just want to take a caption for our lecture today.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, Ryan, do you have a question or something
Yes,
you want to
sir.
share?
I want to ask you something, sir.
Yeah, please.
When the deadline to submit our revise, sir?
I think 1 week after today, so probably before. No, maybe next Monday you can submit it. The deadline is for the next Monday.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I will share the link probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I will share the link so everybody can use the link to submit the talks. And you can start sharing. You can start submit your revisions. Yeah, starting from tomorrow and until the next Monday. Any other question? No? So I consider no. So thank you very much. And hopefully, even we just have a online discussion, and sometimes we have a problem with the internet connections, and sometimes my voice also just unclearly heard by you, and therefore we have to understand about it. We probably yes, but I think based on our lectures, we just have practiced everything, and I think I hope that you will in the futures will start to practice how to construct to make the report, and because it will be very useful for you to prepare your thesis, your proposals, your seminars results, and also for your final thesis that you have to submit for finish for accomplish your degree as a Bachelor of Science in Biology department. So thank you very much for your attention, and don't forget for your talks, your final exams, and then good luck for you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.